Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome an accomplished entrepreneur from the world of wellness, Dr. Nidhi Bajaj Gupta. Nidhi, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Dr. Gupta is the founder of Meraki Holistic Wellness Company. Her USP is combining Eastern and Western ways of healing that are not just natural, but also wholesome. And she's also an author, or she's a co-author of a book titled One Woman, Two Advanced Cancers Conquered. So my first question is, tell me a little bit about your own personal journey into holistic wellness and what was the inspiration to pursue this path?
Thank you so much, Ashutosh, firstly, for having me here. I've gone through your website and about you, and I just love the title itself, the brand called you, because I think each individual in their own way is
Correct.
a brand which can make such a big impact on the world in the future.
Absolutely
So
right.
it's very unique and very beautiful. And so I would say my journey began at a very young age. I think when I was about 7 years old, my dad is this IIT engineer, like a
Mm,
genius kind of brain, and
mm,
he does a lot of programming. So whenever he came back home, he used to look a little fatigued sometimes. And somehow he used to just land up pressing his feet and he used to sleep off with a smile on his face. And he used to that time only tell me, Ki, Nidhi, I just have this dream that you should touch someone and they should become okay through
mm.
the power of love and
Correct.
the intention of making them okay. So
Mm,
since then I knew, Ashutosh, that I'm going to be with humans and not with machines, basically.
mm.
So that is, I think, when the seeds were sown. And then I went on to become a physiotherapist and then moved on further to explore the world of the entire holistic wellness approach.
How amazing. How amazing. And how did your mother's battle with cancer influence your approach to wellness and healing?
So this is something very personal, and in fact, it's been like an adventure ride for my sister and me with mom. Very, very thrilling, and I think it's been an inspiration to, I could say, thousands across the globe. So sharing it, of course, because I know it will inspire others. So my mom had cancer, breast cancer, which was stage 3 in 2005, and we were quite young, very unknown to this. I'd only read about this in my books in
Correct.
physiotherapy, so it was quite scary initially.
Mm, mm,
As we went to the doctors, they did the surgery, radiation, chemotherapy. And we asked the onco, that doctor, what should we do? What is the root cause? Some didn't have an answer to that. He said, we don't know. It could be idiopathic or just genetic. And we said, okay, what should we do to help her avoid anything in the future?
mm,
And literally, he said this remark that just tell her to have broccoli. And
mm,
we were like, okay, we didn't even get the understand. And then we just moved on. And then in 2012, she was diagnosed with brain tumor. So the cancer had reoccurred. And this time it was stage 4, grade 4. It was pressing on the occipital area. So she
mm.
could not see. And that is the time we realized that we have to take things in our own hands now. And we started exploring a lot of holistic wellness. And Megha and me, of course, reached out to our Guru Mahathir, and he just told us this one sentence: just have faith. Your mom is a fighter and she will fight this through. Just holding on to that sentence, Ashutosh, my mom got so much courage that she told the doctors that you will treat me as though I'm going to live
Mm,
and not that I'm a dying patient. So
mm,
even when she went for the brain surgery, we asked her, Mom, how are you feeling? And she's like, I'm on top of the world. So
mm,
that positive attitude, when we saw, made her so successful. She became a conqueror. So the
mm,
doctors, after the surgery, told us that they called us to the room and said, see, to be honest, she just has about 3 to 6 months to live. And
mm.
that was in 2012. She lived on for 10 years longer. And the doctors have been so surprised. Only in 2022, she passed away peacefully. So that is when Megha and me even wrote that book, because we realized that it's not only medical, but the spiritual, the wellness, the nutrition. So being with mom through that 10 years, I explored many wellness therapies and
Hmm.
I can say it works like magic, Ashutosh.
Hmm.
So that's how our mom is an inspiration to us and to so
Fantastic.
many.
Thank you for sharing such a personal story. So, Nidhi, let's talk about holistic wellness. But before I ask you a question, the name Meraki is a very unusual name. What does it
Yes, yeah.
mean?
So the word Meraki means when you put your soul into something that you do. So
Okay.
this is something, yeah, and I can see my passion became my profession, or
Hmm.
rather, my profession is my passion. So what we try at Meraki, whoever we interact with, it could be a helper also, or it could be a CEO or a celebrity. Something of us, it's a very heart to heart treatment. It's not only, oh, we just did the physio and they can just get lost and go. It's something much deeper. We try our best to connect to the person. So Meraki means just adding your own touch, your soul into everything that you do,
How amazing.
basically.
How amazing.
Yes. Thank
So,
you.
my next question is how do you define holistic wellness? And why do you believe it is essential for everyone?
So holistic wellness, of course, would be an integration of the body, mind, soul. In fact, I think we can't even say body and mind and soul, because
Hmm.
that means we are putting all three separately. Actually, it's body, mind, soul. It's everything together. So,
Hmm.
like our right arm is not different from the left. Like, suppose if I have a cut on my thumb,
Hmm.
I will feel pain. It's not that I can say, oh, only my right thumb is paining. I am in pain. That
Right.
means the entire body is connected to each other. Or
Hmm.
when we are not okay emotionally, we tend to feel so low that day. There may be nothing wrong with the body, but yet we'll say, I'm not feeling okay today. So,
Hmm.
which means that our entire body, mind, soul, the spiritual aspect is completely integrated. So, to me, holistic wellness is a deep integration of all three, and
Hmm.
I think it's very important because if I want to be the best version of myself every day, I need my body, mind, soul to be aligned with each other.
Hmm. Well said. And what role does spirituality play in holistic wellness and how does it integrate with physical health?
So this is very, very deep, Ashutosh. Of course, sometimes when it's something is so deep, I don't think words would do justice, but I'll try my best to explain
Okay.
in a simple
Hmm.
manner. So when we are born, we are made up of, each one of us actually is made up of physical, mental, intellectual, emotional, and our spiritual personality.
Hmm.
So, just comparing it, let's say, to a company, organization,
Yeah.
the physical is actually at the it's somewhere at the lower rung. Basically, it could be, for example, the staff of the company, and the spiritual personality is
Hmm.
actually the top. It's the CEO.
Right.
So if we want some work done, if we go to the lower rung, automatically the work will go higher, 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 and then it may take even a year for it to happen.
Hmm.
Whereas, let's say if I know the chairman of a company, instantly my work will be done. So
Hmm.
similarly, if we can do the reverse, like many people tend to start from lower to higher, they
Hmm.
first make their body okay, then their mind okay. But
Hmm.
if we can just hold on to spirituality and make that the root,
Hmm.
automatically everything else starts sorting out. So
Hmm.
people who meditate, I have seen this personally, in fact, even in my own life. It's been about 20 years in
Hmm.
meditation, and I would say, Ashutosh, Touchwood, I don't think a single day I have missed at work
Hmm.
because of not being okay physically. So
Hmm.
even I was working at Reliance Hospital, and that time we had certain number of leaves in a year. And
Hmm.
when I left the hospital to get married, my sir actually told me, Nidhi, you have all the leaves because you
Hmm.
didn't take a single holiday. So
Hmm.
that is where I feel spirituality actually can be the highest form of getting everything else right. So if
Hmm.
we are okay at the spiritual level,
Yeah.
your emotion, intellect, mental and physical state will be taken naturally care of.
Very interesting. You also, have a unique approach of combining Eastern and Western healing practices. Tell me a little bit more about these practices. How are they different and how are you combining all of them?
So I really believe that the West has a lot of, they do a lot of research, honestly. So it's very scientific, it's
Mm.
not to be denied that they have a very big science backing. And
Right.
when we come to the Eastern, there
Mm.
is a lot of intuition, it is ancient wisdom. So
Mm,
what I realized, in fact, my guru once told me that, Nidhi, there are people who practice Western medicines, there are people who practice Eastern ways. But if you can be that combination, I know one day the entire world is going to come to you. So
mm,
that is something I held on to almost 15 years back. And what I did is I started first, I went to the West to understand the science part. So I went to places like New York, New Jersey, and I started Singapore, and I started learning the Western ways of healing, which is
mm,
something called as myofascia release, dry needling, cupping,
mm,
craniosacral therapy.
mm,
And then once I felt that okay, I'm good with this, and I started implementing, I started exploring the Eastern ways, which is yoga, chakra chants, kumbhak pranayam. It could be sujok therapy. And now what I do is I try my best to combine the two.
mm,
So either the person lands up actually getting the best of both the worlds in
mm.
a way that is suitable to them. So
Very,
that is how we do it at
very well
Meraki.
said. Very well said. And
Thank you.
how
Thank you.
important is the mind-body connection in your wellness practices?
The most important.
Mm,
Actually, there's again, as I said, it's not, and even you said mind body and not mind and body,
mm,
because it's totally integrated. So, for example, I've seen this in thousands of cases. If a person is having a constant issue on the left side of the body, it
mm,
is usually related to something with their mother, some unresolved issue with their mother.
mm,
Whereas I have a girl, persistently, she only has pain on her right side, and she has had all the issues in her growing years with her father.
mm,
And as she is resolving them now, automatically her right side is easing up.
mm,
Then we've had people who had knee issues or leg pain, and it's totally from the domain that they did not get to do what they wanted to in life.
mm,
Somewhere there was a suppression, so they felt that we could not achieve our dreams or we could not travel where we wanted to in life, and
mm,
that's why their legs always constantly pain. Or someone could have like anxiety, and the first thing that gets affected is the gut. So,
mm,
or when there is grief, your lung can get affected a lot. Or when there is suppression, the throat can get affected. So, I feel, Ashutosh, that every emotion or every mental thought
mm,
actually is connected to each and every body part. So,
mm,
that's how important, like before we even touch the person physically, we
mhm.
first understand their mental personality and what is their dominant thoughts about themselves, others, and life in general.
Well
So
said.
that's how the
Very
connection.
well said.
Yes.
But
Thank
given
you.
the amount of work you are doing with so many different people, what are some of the biggest challenges you have seen your clients face in achieving holistic wellness?
One, I would say we are so used to patterns, Ashutosh. We all are born out of patterns and we have very strong neuron connections. So
Mm,
I've seen many people, even if they want to become okay, something in their subconscious mind holds them back. Like they
mm,
are so comfortable with that neck pain or that back pain. Either it's giving them attention in the house, which maybe they are
mm.
not getting,
Yeah.
or somewhere that comfort that okay, my neck is paining, so I can't do so much in life. It becomes an excuse for them. Even
Mm,
in weight loss, like people, as they start even losing weight, they
mm.
want to be comfortable with the previous weight. So
Correct.
they suddenly start overeating. So
Mm.
when I feel it's your old patterns, like where people are, it's difficult to break that pattern. So
Right.
we have to work also, and they also have to be willing to be molded and shaped by us. So
Mm.
that's one. And second, Ashutosh, this biggest thing of quick fix. People think it's literally like Maggie noodles. They are like,
Right.
pain hai, can you give us a tablet? I'm like, no, I will not give you a tablet, but I'll give you something that is going to long term help you. So this quick fix, fat diets. And third, I would say probably, yeah, I think these are the main two
Mm.
challenges that we face.
Fair enough.
A quick fix, fat diet, and yeah, just wanting to. And third, yes, it would be that they don't believe prevention is better than cure. So
Mm.
people usually reach out to doctors or even nutritionists when something is not okay. So when the sugar levels are too high, they will run. But when you are already okay, why not make the better the best? That
Mm.
is one thing which we face a lot right now in India, I would say.
Very interesting. And what is the role of nutrition, fitness, and meditation in a cohesive wellness strategy?
Right. So one, Ashutosh, I think bio individuality is something that we focus a lot on. So
Hmm.
no two people, even we know when no two thumbprints are similar, how can one diet work for everybody?
Correct.
Like my husband is so different from me. My children are so different. I may love this thing, they may hate it. So
Hmm.
one, when the person comes to us, we understand their personality.
Hmm.
So their physical status, can they do yoga or would they prefer cardio? Then
Hmm.
we understand their mental makeup. Like they should be like my two children, suppose. With one, I'm very firm, with the other, I'm not. Because
Hmm.
I know one will develop with firmness and the other will break if I'm firm. So
Hmm.
our focus at Meraki is bio individuality. That's why we tailor make the program. So
Hmm.
if someone wants it at a not a very deep level, then
Hmm.
we just give them a consultation, which includes nutrition. What kind of exercises should they do on a weekly basis?
Hmm.
Little bit of mindfulness technique. But if someone is willing to go deeper and do like an entire year with us, then we have specialized nutritionists, someone who teaches meditation, and someone who does fitness. So they enroll with us and we carry them through that journey with us,
Very
basically.
interesting. Very interesting.
Thank you.
My next question, Nidhi, is how can families
Yes.
incorporate holistic wellness practice to benefit all members, especially children? And you just mentioned that everyone is unique.
Yes, yeah, true. So this I am working with some families, but not as many as I would wish, where families would come. We
Hmm.
have maybe the husband coming or maybe one kid coming. So I would say families together should start something in a small way, because it's not easy to always have common time. But like
Correct.
what I do, suppose with my family, we take up monthly goals. So example, January would be that all of us will land up eating at least two fruits per day,
Hmm.
which is not so difficult. And we make a fun chart and we just stick it, has this one done it, this one not done it. Okay, there's no punishment, but there is just that excitement that if we do it,
Correct.
maybe that person is celebrating.
Hmm.
Similarly, they can take up that this month we will focus on completing, going in within nature via treks. Third month could be just candle meditation, just observing the candle together as a family and just feeling that oneness with each other. So
Hmm.
what I would request families is take up one thing 1 month, because it's not easy nowadays to do too much at one go.
Hmm.
But even that one thing taken can actually have a very deep impact in the family.
Right.
And one thing I would highly recommend families to do, 5 minutes of meditation together.
Hmm.
It could,
Hmm.
as I said, just looking at a candle, some little bit of breath work, or just chanting Om together. Because if spiritually they feel that oneness, automatically in every other way, they will bond more and more as a family,
Hmm.
especially children.
Well said. And what is your perspective on the role of mental health in holistic wellness? And how do you address the issues of mental health in your programs?
So mental health, as even I mentioned earlier, mind body, so every thought actually has a connection to the body. So
Hmm.
what we do when we first evaluate a person, of course, even intuition plays a very big role in this. Like I had a patient in Pune and she was having knee pain, and for the longest time somehow it was not getting healed for almost 5 years.
Hmm.
When I saw her, the first thing I asked her, somehow it was not that I thought about it, I just put my hands on her knee and I said, uh, has something happened to your brother? And she broke down and she told me some incidents and she cried and cried. In fact, that entire session was only about letting go.
Hmm.
And actually, Ashutosh, she recovered by 70 to 80% just after that one session. So
Hmm.
it is, basically when the person comes to us, there is a certain intuition and of course, taking a lot of in-depth history.
Hmm.
That's why the first session has to be detailed and we understand everything. What's your diet like? What is your personality? A
Hmm.
little about the family members, the
Hmm.
friends, your passion. And that's how then we incorporate mental health via counseling. There is something called access bar therapy, Bach flower remedy, craniosacral therapy. These
Hmm.
are all that work on the mind of the person. And
Hmm.
if we feel the person is open to it, we incorporate this within our physiotherapy.
Amazing. I have time for two more questions for you, Nidhi. My
Yes.
next question is, what advice would you give to someone who's just starting their journey into holistic wellness?
So the basic advice, go slow. I would say it is too important, because I know people, like, we go for corporate training and suddenly they are so impressed by so much knowledge. They are
Mm,
like, we are starting this, doctor, we are doing this, and the next day also they'll message, we did this. And I know it's not going to be long lasting.
mm,
So in fact, if a person takes up one thing, it's like simple. If you put even a Bible on a donkey's back, the
mm,
donkey still remains a donkey. It's
mm,
not, so it's not about how much knowledge. Has that knowledge been converted into wisdom by implementation? So
mm,
what we request people, take up one thing or three things to follow. So it
mm,
could be, let's say, take a lemon shot. For many corporates, we've told them that keep your body alkaline by taking a lemon shot.
mm,
Or second, it could be 5 minutes of breath work. Or
mm,
third, we say that just walk for 11 minutes today. Example. So I
mm,
would tell anybody starting that, number one, go slow. Second, don't compare yourself to Insta Reels, because it's crazy. I mean, there are people
absolutely.
who show us, yeah, they are like, what a, how good this person looks, and can I have this soon? And we are like, no, this is not you. So it's so
Mm,
important to constantly be our own benchmark.
mm,
And third, I would say, Megha and me, in fact, coined this word called, I mean, you must have heard it, of course, kiss of health, which is
mm,
keep it simple, sweetheart.
right.
So we always tell people that don't make it into, am I having enough protein,
Mm,
carbohydrate, fat, fiber? Your meal should have a variety of color. You should eat with that simple prayer and love, and automatically it will get digested.
mm.
So I think this is the main thing I would
Very
say. Like,
interesting.
go, yeah, yeah,
Very
yes,
interesting.
yes,
And my
yes,
last question for you,
yes,
you know, given the amazing amount of work you are doing, you just gave me the example of how your holistic practices helped your mother
right.
so much. Can you share any other example of how you've helped a patient to avoid a surgical intervention through
Right.
holistic practices?
Yeah, so this one I will say, which is very interesting, and many others as well.
Yeah.
I'll share this one. So this lady was, she was admitted to the hospital for a severe slip disc,
Mm,
to a level where she could not even get out of bed, and she has children. And so she said, okay, let me just get the surgery done,
mm,
because that's
mm,
what the doctors told her, that since you can't even walk, you have to do a surgery. And she was about to sign the consent form for the surgery, and
mm,
my very close friend knows her also. So she had gone to just meet her that time somehow. She
mm,
said, wait, don't sign this. And she's like, why? She's like, please, I'm requesting you. Once you try out, with Dr. Nidhi and her team. Then she had that faith in my friend. So she said, okay, I'm just giving it 1 month. Otherwise, I'm definitely going in for the
yeah.
surgery. So I sent my team to her, because I was not able to do home visits that time. And there's a whole McKinsey program for slip disc, which is
Mm,
UK based, but it works like magic on a slip disc. So my team physio that time started just working on her, and I used to do video calls with her. And Ashutosh, it's been, of course, many years, but I would say in 1 month she was absolutely back to normal. In 6 months she started walking 10, almost 5 to 10 kilometers. She had sent me some report,
mm.
and within 1 year she started jogging again. So
Amazing.
it was like, it was
Absolute
because
miracle.
and any cut to the body. I know today the techniques are very advanced, and there are some people who do need the surgery. So
Mm,
those are the people we ourselves see. But I would say 95% of the people can heal with a certain help from a coach, and also if they can activate their own inner healing. So
right.
like this, we have seen people coming crawling literally, and today they are surfing, they are scuba diving. One of my patient at 86 just went scuba diving right now. So
Mm,
we arthritis, and he came to us on a wheelchair, and now he just walks into a clinic. So it is, we have these videos, and it's very fulfilling actually.
amazing.
Yes, yes.
Amazing. And on that note, Nidhi, I just want to say thank you so much for speaking to me about your journey. Thank you for the story you gave us about the background about your mother, which led to the book for Megha and you. Thank you also
Right.
for speaking to me about holistic wellness in so much detail. I think I learned many, many new things from you today. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you so much. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the brand called You Videocast and Podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the brand called You.